Right, here's a newer addition to the garden. If you have an Aldi's near you, they were selling last week trellises. And these metal trellises you basically put together. They're about 7, 8 foot tall or whatever. And yeah, they go like hotcakes. So if you didn't buy them that week, you're out of luck. But anyways, we put this together because we have this rose bush here that is a climbing rose bush. You can see that it's in a container and that it has two long shoots from the roses here. So since we had that, we needed something for it to trellis up on. So that's why we got this trellis, and we'll just train it to climb up on this end. We don't have another climbing rose bush yet. We could put it on the other end. But what we do have is this yellow plant here, and we also have this olive tree, which seems to be growing. The new leaves are light green. The darker green are from the old part last year. But anyways, whether it produces olives or not, I don't know. But it's an olive tree. They sell them at Home Depot or anywhere. And we just, again, stuck it in a 10-gallon pot and off it goes. So we got that going on. Behind it here was last year's experiment that these are the survivors. Basically, there's a whole thing about using milk crates to grow strawberries. And then you could stack the milk crates on top of each other and basically have them cascade down like this is here. And these two are just about ready to be picked. But anyways, this is a survivor from last year. We basically just left it over the winter here, and it didn't die. It doesn't get cold enough to kill the plant, but there was some roots that died along the side here, you can see. So either from last year we overcrowded it, or just didn't have enough water or nutrients, because again, it gets pretty dry. So we're just letting this grow again just like it is, and because it survived, and maybe we'll make another one of these or use another methodology. But if you look online, people seem to grow strawberries with this pretty easily, and these are growing a few good strawberries right now, so we'll just leave that and let it go.
Our pineapple plant.
If we kind of start on this end here, this is the other end where we have more trellises, and we have some bigger, shorter cloth pots here for things like radishes. So yesterday there we dropped in some radish and some carrots and some kohlrabi, and we'll see how that grows. It looks like the radish has already started to sprout up, so we'll have to start thinning some of the ones here. Looks like there's a caterpillar right there on that irrigation. So anyways, we're keeping that going. Then just looking here, we got a big bucket of dill. We've got basil, the mint, and the parsley, and the oregano growing there, along with more mosquito plants and marigolds. And then on the back row, we have, again, two big tomato plants that are growing. They're the cherry tomatoes, and then one more bucket of cucumbers. And then because we pulled up some old dead rose bushes behind here, we used the space to put in snap peas. So here's two baskets of snap peas and the trellis for those to go up. Snap peas really are more of a cool weather plant. They should have been planted more in January, February, and you're supposed to harvest in March and April, but I got them in a cooler part of the garden, so maybe they'll survive. They'll get the water, they got the nutrients. One of the things here about the dirt that we use, I kind of do my own dirt blend instead of just buying a bag at the store. Basically, the dirt is like one half peat moss and the other half what they call garden soil. It's more like compost, but they call it a garden soil. And then I put in a whole big a couple cans of the vermiculite or perlite to air it out. And then on top of that, I mix in some dried molasses. The dried molasses gives it a sugar for the biology and microorganisms to feed off of. And then I throw in a little fertilizer and a little garden lime, because sometimes the acid is too soil. Also on your tomatoes and peppers, to stop getting the the blossom end rot, where that end of the tomato or pepper just like turns brown and dies. It's because there's not enough calcium in the dirt. So I supplement it with some garden lime so that we don't have that problem. And then on some of these bags, if you look online, you can buy these soil moisture granules. Basically, it's almost like that silica pack that you get in packages that absorb the water. But what these do is basically when they hit the water, they swell up and they retain water. So in the Texas heat, my thought process was if I can mix in some of those granules, when I water, they expand. When it's hot, they'll contract, give out the water. It should keep the plant better watered. So we'll see if that theory holds out. Looking here, that's one little surviving rose plant from last year. The ground, again, is really hard. We should have just grew everything in a container, but that's the last guy there. And then on the fence here, you can see one more trellis that I built. I'm going to build, I got this one, and I'm going to build one more so we can put some more things here. And then here is the half-inch rod that we use for staking them in. So it's a really good system and a really cheap trellising system. So anyways, here's this part of the garden.